Welcome to our live interview with the writers from the Denton Record-Chronicle, powered in part by Classic of Denton. Well, hey everybody, we are live once again here at DentonRadio.com with one of the writers from the Denton Record-Chronicle. Every Monday we sit down with the oracles of information and talk about what's going on in Denton, whether it be Denton business, Denton news, Denton sports, Denton, all that good stuff. Today we are talking with the man of Denton sports himself, Mr. Brett Vito. Brett, what do we got going on today?
Actually, it's a very exciting day in just North Texas basketball and athletics in general, because tonight North Texas is hosting a postseason tournament game. That's really unusual just in college basketball and in the history of North Texas in general. North Texas has not hosted a postseason game since 1980 and has not hosted a game that they played in the Super Pit ever. So they've never played a home postseason game in the Super Pit. Now, when we say postseason game, that's not including conference tournaments. We're talking NIT, NCAA, CBI, CIT games, tournaments like that. The NCAA tournament's a neutral site tournament. Of course, everybody knows that. But the NIT, CBI, and CIT typically have home games for teams. That's the way those tournaments work. Well, North Texas has never hosted one of these suckers, and tonight they have one. They're playing Mercer at 7 at the Super Pit. So it's a really important game for UNT. They're trying to extend their season and make a run at the CBI Final Four. North Texas paid a very large sum of money to host this game, $40,000, which we put in the paper the other day, and they'll offset that by whatever ticket sales they make tonight. So it's very important for North Texas, just from a financial standpoint, and just from a for the good of the program standpoint. They've had a really good season. They're one game under 500 at this point, but considering how terrible they were last year, they've taken a huge step forward in the first season under Grant McCaslin. If Mercer sounds familiar, it's a team that you see often in the NCAA tournament. Mercer upset Duke in the NCAA tournament a few years ago. Wow. They're not as good as they were back then, but this is a tradition. This is a basketball school that takes basketball seriously. They've been in the postseason 6 of the last 7 years. They've got some really good players, including one of Darryl Strawberry's sons plays for Mercer. He's had a couple of kids that have played college basketball, but one of Darryl Strawberry, the famous Major League Baseball player, one of his sons plays for Mercer. So that is tonight. So North Texas Athletics is really pushing hard for people to show up, because this is a rare opportunity for North Texas to host a postseason game. These opportunities don't come along very often. This wasn't something that was expected to happen, because North Texas played the first round in the CBI at South Dakota, and South Dakota on paper looked like it may have been the best team in the league, the tournament. They barely lost to TCU. They barely lost to UCLA. North Texas went up there to South Dakota and somehow managed to pull that out up there in South Dakota. So that was a big win for the program. So that's the big thing going on in local sports is that game tonight.
Very cool.
There's also a lot of other things going on. We've reported in the paper the other day that North Texas's Board of Regents approved the athletic department to enter into contract extension negotiations for both football coach Seth Luttrell and athletic director Ren Baker. So North Texas looks like it will make a move to adjust both of those, their head football coach and their athletic director's employment contracts. Luttrell's set to become the first coach to make over $1 million in a season this fall. Whether they keep that specific parameter in place, whether they extend him years, whether they adjust the contract, when the board approves that, they have an idea of what they want to do. We'll just have to wait until that finalized contract comes out, whether it's just additional years or whether they adjust things within those contracts. But they're looking to lock up Luttrell and Baker for a little bit longer.
Cool.
Other things going on. Saturday at noon is North Texas's spring game. It's always a big event at North Texas in terms of just across the board. You'll have your annual spring football game on Saturday. That'll be a kind of a sneak peek of what North Texas will have this fall. As well as they always make that a big event. There's a garage sale that morning, if you want to pick up some extra North Texas memorabilia or, things that have or shirts or mementos, various things. They always have that garage sale right before the spring game. And they also typically have a soccer game, a softball series. I mean, they kind of time it all out. So that's a big event. coming up this Saturday. If you want to come over and just immerse yourself in North Texas athletics, that's your opportunity to do it before the summer hits. And on the high school realm, of course, we've got a lot of high school baseball and softball going on. It is that time of year where the spring sports really pick up for the high school sports. So if you want to get out and see some of the good teams in the area, this is kind of your opportunity the next few weeks to go ahead and do that.
Dig it. Very, very cool. Well, glad to hear such cool things happening around town, especially the big game happening tonight. That's pretty cool. And just love it. Always good to hear positive things happening in the Denton sports front. Well, guys, make sure you are staying tuned to Denton Record-Chronicle, and also checking out DentonRC.com. Be checking out the sports section. You'll see this guy all over it. So make sure you're staying tuned to Denton Record-Chronicle for all of your Denton sports updates. We are here every Monday. We'll be back again next Monday with Lucinda Breeding at 2, talking Denton events. Thanks again for tuning in, everybody. We always do appreciate it. Again, we'll see you next week. Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to check out DentonRadio.com for new Denton artists and where they're playing next. While you're surfing the internet, make sure you check out our friends Classic of Denton at ClassicofDenton.com.